Saturday night, December 10th, 2022. The elves here on the launch site are going away. They're working pretty hard, getting ready for Christmas. Or maybe it's Hanukkah. They're getting ready for the, they're getting the menorah ready with the candles. '22 here at SpaceX South Texas launch site. Hey, Elena. Hanukkah, Michael Sullivan, good stuff. Maybe the center part in the center is the menorah, and you know, you got the candles on the left and to the right there. Hey. Hey, Carl. Yeah, good evening. Good stuff. Appreciate the feedback on the stuff. Yeah, so don't ordinarily see the gentleman over there working on our side of the methane tank. Let me know if there's an echo or anything like that. But, yeah, but they are tonight. And another unusual thing about tonight is I'll zoom out and give you a shot of the parking lot here in a little bit. There's very few vehicles here on site, very few. Yeah. I'll unplug the mic here so you can hear the jackhammer too. So they're active. Let me go. Bring the something back there. Maybe that same area. All right, I'm gonna move the camera, so I didn't mean to kick the tripod there, but I'm gonna show you the parking spaces as well. So it's a Saturday night. Remember, good morning to you over there in Australia, but it's still Saturday here night in Texas. But look at that, the parking space is pretty much empty. You got my truck there and another truck on the other side, but all that space is usually filled with trucks all the way down there. So tonight is one of those rare nights that SpaceX is taking the evening off pretty much. There are some trucks here to the left, but not many. There's about 10 trucks here on the left, but once you get to over here, it's all empty after that. So yeah. Normally there's about 80 or so trucks here. Tonight there's about maybe 17 trucks or something like that, maybe. I'm just guessing. Maybe it's due to Gwynn Shotwell being in charge or something like that. Or maybe it's due to it being like close to Christmas time. Maybe that's why. Or Hanukkah. I don't know what day Hanukkah starts, but it could be due to under new management. It could be due to Gwynn Shotwell being the heading up the site here. That could possibly. I haven't seen it, but keep my eyes open. Keep my eyes open. Yeah. Anyway, how you doing? What's going on in your neck of the woods? 25th of Kislev. Okay, that's when it starts, huh? How does that translate into the December time frame, Helena? Which day is the 25th of Kislev? Looking at that now. Good stuff. Stargirl of Elohim. Good stuff. Let's zoom in on the platform as well. It's the 19th. Okay, 19th is when Hanukkah starts. Okay, good stuff. Thanks. It's good stuff. That's important information. I think the Jewish calendar, I think, goes according to the moon, and there's 13 moons a year, and it's important stuff. Because if we look back within the last month or two, when the day of the slaughter of the animals happened, that's when the Sam Bankman-Fried, that's when he's also a little bit Jewish. He is Jewish, SBF. That's when he tanked his company $60 billion into the toilet. On the day of the slaughter was the peak of the full moon, I think a month ago, and that's when he, on the actual day of the slaughter, he slaughtered his company and $60 billion into the toilet, crashed the whole crypto market, and affected some other things as well. Okay, Carl says they're tying rebar for the Berm wall. Oh, okay, they are, huh? That's good stuff. Okay, let me check that out too. What are they doing here in front of the methane tanks? What's going on here? Oh, is that what they're doing? Are they? Sorry, loud. Let me know if I'm talking too loud. Yeah, things are really connected. Are they doing? Is this where they're doing the rebar, Carl? Yeah, that looks like rebar to me. Oh wow, they're doing it right here. So that's what's going on. All right, well that makes sense. Thanks, man. That's good stuff. So there is a, what I'm understanding is this is going to be for the berm, which is, they're raising up the berm on the backside of the orbital tank farm there. There's a berm that goes lengthwise east-west behind the wall there, behind the tanks, and they're raising it up a bit. And I think that's what that rebar they're making there is for. Thais Indo, I don't know what that means. Elisama, nice to see you here, Elisa. Good stuff. Good stuff. Helena, since you're here, I'll get your feedback on this. I'm gonna repeat what I've said before elsewhere, and then I will talk a little bit about the videos I made today and stuff like that too. That's fun. I made some fun stuff today. You know, we were talking about the slaughter, right? So you know, sacrifice, right? The idea of sacrifice in the Old Testament was about you know, certain types of people don't they're not up to speed on as far as the source or the God within everything, or they're not really up to speed about the consciousness of the universe and everything else. So they're into sacrificing to make a statement to the universe or something about their commitment to something, right? But the idea of sacrifice, if we go back, if we look at God sacrificing God to make God happy, you know, one person sacrificing another person to make God happy, that's a little bit backwards, right? Because it doesn't make any sense for God to sacrifice another form of God to make a third form of God happy. So, you know, if you want to be happy, just be happy. You don't have to sacrifice anything to be happy. You know, you don't have to slaughter somebody to make something up there in heaven happy. If you're actually sacrificing somebody who's not yourself to make a third person up there happy, that's more like Satanism. That's more like you know, It's about the blood. Yeah, well, yeah. So the blood would be maybe be the localized soul, as opposed to maybe the larger spirit. Is that what you're maybe referring to? The soul would be like the localized memory or the personality, and it's an important concept because I like to get more information on what people think about that. Yes. Are you typing into a phone there, Helena? I appreciate it. However you're texting here, I forgot to take that into consideration. Well, I'll go on with some other stuff if you want to chime in. You're welcome to. Otherwise, maybe send me a, I don't know if you want to, but you could send me a voice text message on Twitter or something. Thanks. All right, forget it. I did a couple of videos today. This morning I was, the take 2 of the video I did, the short video I did today, actually came first. And then I decided to play around with the voicer, and that's the actual, the one I put out first, that like 3rd or 4th try take. It was the 3rd or 4th take, which I put out first this morning with the water scene. So that was, and that actually got 5,000 views. So that was pretty cool. It was like It will. Good evening. Nice to see you again. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Looks like they're putting together some rebar up there. Is what what we're looking at here. Okay, Carl says the original berm slopes up at a 45-degree angle. They're adding an 8-foot high extension that's at a 60-degree angle to the to divert the rocket blast and debris away from the tank, farms, and equipment. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I did see something like that. I didn't piece it together as far as what we're seeing here, and that. But yeah, that makes sense. Okay, because I remember seeing the one shot I got in that dramatic video I did a day or two ago, where it does angle up, and then there is a kind of a steeper thing that goes up, a skinnier, steeper part. So, thanks. That makes 8 foot, huh? That's a long piece. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then for a video I just put out about a half hour ago, a neat thing about that is after I uploaded the video, there was I guess the thumbnail that I caught was between the end of the video and the last scene before the end. So it was the Starship, the tower, and the logo of the OceanCam logo superimposed over it, and that was like an excellent in-between shot that the YouTube captured. I have the opportunity to switch out the thumbnails, but I like that one a lot. It originally had another kind of in-between shot as well, but I switched it to the one it's on now, where we kind of see the OceanCam logo superimposed almost at night with a laser onto the Starship and the tower. It's a pretty awesome shot. I clipped that and I put it onto Twitter. Carl says, your pics tell us a lot. Everybody's looking for different information. It's all in there in the pics. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I like to get the closest stuff I can for that, for that reason. I don't know what people are looking for, but try and get the closest and the most detailed shot I can, most detailed that I can. So, thanks. It's nice to know they're appreciated, so thanks for the comment. Yeah. Let me get a little closer shot of this, and then I'll zoom out a bit. We'll get a shot of the platform. There is one other thing I was going to mention tonight. You know, with severity, when people are really severe about something, right? Cool, Chris. Thanks, Carl Kringle. Helena can say, I can say this, the Western mindset and the Eastern mindset about the Tanakh, Old Testament in Western thinking, is not the same. Hebrew and Greek, which I study, is different. Okay, I'm half Greek too, but okay, I got you. Yeah, I've spent some time with 8 months with a rabbi at the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center in Patagonia, Arizona, in 2013, 2014 timeframe. And no, 2013, it was like early 2013 till later in 2013. I did something else in 2014, but yeah, and it was nice to get the stories on the Friday night and Saturday, kind of explaining stories. So yeah, there's a lot of stories in the, I guess you're mentioning the Tanakh or the Old Testament, etc. You're saying. Gabriel, yeah, Dr. Gabriel or Rabbi Gabriel Cousens. COUSENS. He's a very powerful person, you know. He would do Shaktipat on Friday night, and he's also a medical doctor and a rabbi also, and a raw food healer. Anyway, he's a lot of things. He's similar in experience and understanding to myself. He's got a different, it's different, but it's the same kind of thing. So he's very powerful. I'm gonna zoom out and get the Over Launch platform. Yep. Yep. I'm gonna get this thing here. Yep. Thanks. I chatted with a couple people today, actually. I got some information from one of the people on the Enceladus Orbital Lander mission. This is a different person from the yesterday. I think it was, I talked with somebody else yesterday, but today I got some feedback from one of the people I was going to talk with after the 20th. And I have some interesting information here. Let me see. I learned that what is it? It's a kind of detailed information. Let me see. What did I learn? Okay, I'll just say a bunch of information and maybe it'll come to me. Because I'm not remembering what specific part came through today, but the landing phase of the Enceladus mission, if it were to happen, if they were to begin the mission in 2026, wouldn't happen until 2050, 2051. And the people on who made the big proposal, the 80 people proposal for us to go to Enceladus, are a little bit upset because with the inflation and also the tight budget at NASA, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do their mission. So they're upset about that. As I got this, and so it was said that, what was it said? They might be open to some other type of mission, is what I heard. And but they were also concerned about if they started making changes, how NASA would treat them in the future. So that's some of the info I got. So, and then I also talked with a second person today from the Enceladus Orbital Lander mission, just by text. I didn't actually talk with either of these people by phone, but by text on LinkedIn. The other person wanted more information, and then after I gave him my plan for the Enceladus mission of having primarily a stripped down version of the mission with, yes, we would go to Enceladus, but it would be mostly focused, it would be a visual spectrum orbital lander, visual spectrum ocean camera mission above or below the water, in the ocean, above or from the surface or in the ocean, possibly with a submarine, and also to extract and store several gallons of water to be stored on the planet or in orbit. After I told him that, he subscribed to the Ocean Cam on LinkedIn, the group there. So that was he liked what I said. So, so I talked to two people from the original Enceladus Orbital Lander decadal survey proposal to NASA, from JPL and from Johns Hopkins and some other places, Southwest Research Institute. And I got some good responses today. So, I put out a couple more explanations of the OceanCam mission today to these specific people, and I also floated the idea that I'm looking to have a board of competent team members and a competent team and advisors, and if the different scientists were interested in doing an earlier mission rather than, okay, so here's the deal. The Enceladus mission, if NASA were to go forward with it, they wouldn't start planning it until 2026, and it wouldn't launch until 2038, and it wouldn't get to Enceladus until 2051 or so. So that's a long time. So, and that's only if the money were available. And from the initial response to the decadal survey, I watched a video which I posted a couple days ago, and the initial response to the decadal survey was that NASA was planning to scrap the Enceladus mission because they didn't have enough money to do two new frontier missions. I think it's a new frontier. It's called two different new missions. And I also saw a video today where I don't remember the lady's name, but she's part of the Dragonfly mission, Phoebe or something like that. And she was saying that the Dragonfly mission is not going to take any video. It's all going to be photographs. And even though they're going to be high resolution, meaning even though they're going to have several cameras on the Dragonfly mission, they're not planning to do any video. And I think they're only doing 40 frames per second. They have a high gain antenna, which is kind of cool, but or 40 something per second. So it's not very high. Even though they have a high gain antenna, they're probably not going to have I don't know if they're going to have an orbiter in orbit, but they're not going to be able to send megabits of data back to the Earth. So even though they're spending so much money on that mission, it's still kind of a sketchy mission. If I were to postulate or believe what's been said in the past about NASA, people working at NASA, and their job was to airbrush and to erase stuff out of the different photographs, then I would have to say that they're probably going to do that with the Dragonfly mission. If that has happened in the past at NASA, if there are people in the photo department who have a guard watching over them, and if they were to do something with those photos that they're doctoring up, and that they would get hit by the guard. If that's true from the past, from people who have come forward in interviews that have worked at NASA, then that's probably going to happen with the Dragonfly stuff as well. So yeah, no video means they're going to be doing some cover-ups of whatever the Dragonfly sees over there. So it's easier to doctor photos than it is to doctor video. So if we do, if or when we do the Enceladus or some other moon mission, I'd like us to do video, because it's going to be better. You know, if you're doing if you're doing video and you see an animal jump in front of the camera, then that's going to be exciting. But if they're going to be able to take photos and choose which photos to show us, that's not going to be so fun. So, and then the look that lady put on her face when she was explaining to us that the low transmission to the satellite rate of, I think it was like 40 something, 40. I don't know, 40 BPS, maybe 40 BPS or something like that, or maybe it's KPS, I don't know. But that was the best I could do. It was one of those believe me looks. That's how I read it, her body language, after she made that statement. So to the lady that was interviewing her. So yeah, I lost some respect for the Dragonfly mission and the scientists there after watching that video. But it does look like when I wrote to that gentleman about the one of the two people I talked with today was a gentleman, the other was a lady. So when I talked to by text to the gentleman, I explained that the different scientists, if they came, would be much better for when I went to some of these people that would invest in the company, like Goldman Sachs and BlackRock. BlackRock, when they invest in something, they put down $100 million. Goldman Sachs, I don't know their history of investing, but I have a PDF of everybody who works at BlackRock, the whole team and everything, all the different investments they've done since their inception. So I have all the information on BlackRock. I got all the contacts, all the phone numbers, the emails, everything. So if or when we get the different scientists who are interested in joining the team or to be part of this venture to go to Enceladus, I told the gentleman that they would get equity, they would get stock in the company, just like some of these outside investors would be investing in the OceanCam project mission. The different scientists and everything would get anywhere from probably around 1 to 2% of the company, depending how long they stay at the company and work, and maybe over 20 or 21 years. If there are 100 million shares, they would get 1 to 2 million shares spread out over 20 years. So if the shares were valued at 150 bucks and we had 100 million shares, that'd be everybody would get about 1 to 2 million dollars worth of shares. 150 million shares. No, 100 million shares, $150 per share. That would be if everyone got a million shares. 1%, 1 to 2% of 100 million is 1 to 2 million shares at $150 per share. If we could sell them at that price, or at least set the par value at that, then everybody would get between 150 to $300 million in value in shares for being a part of the OceanCam mission as a scientist or a team member. You know. Just think about that. Every if there's about 80 scientists on the Enceladus decadal mission. I guess. Some guys were walking past here. Let me see. Where all these guys coming from? Says Sausage. Hey, nice to see you. Is there a meth lab under under the tanks? That's good. Hey, Barbazol. Good deal. Yeah, maybe it's a shift change or something. Maybe they finished making the rebar wall that they were working on, right? They were working on a rebar ball. No, maybe they finished it up, or they're taking a break. Maybe it's break time. I don't know. But that's what I will convey more and more. Breaking Bad, like, yeah, that's right. Well, we're better to put a meth lab than under a methane tank, right? Not like you need a fire to make meth, do you? I wouldn't know, but I've seen some of the movies. That's the major excitement that happened today here. Yeah, it's pretty much all I got. It's a nice night. There's not a lot of wind or anything. There's not a lot of, so far, not a lot of mosquitoes. They did spray a couple times today, at least when I was here earlier. With the mosquito spray stuff. They had the truck running around a couple times this morning. Looks like these guys are pulling out. Sales? No, estou bem. Gracias. Some guy was offering me a drink. That's good stuff. Drinking some Pepsi or Coke, something like that. I appreciate that. That was real nice. Let me see if they're going to be moving. Okay, Sasha says, I reckon Elon should use the boring company to make a tunnel from under the launch pad to the sea, then it would fill with water. Yeah, that's pretty good. Instead of piping in instead of trucking in the water, right? Somebody was mentioning maybe a 30 meters of water around the launch platform there might help stop some of the flames and sound and everything else. Tom asked if I'm staying up. Yeah, I didn't know there was a launch from the Kennedy Space Center tonight. What are they launching, Tom Sicoli? So Tom says in 2 hours there's a launch from the Kennedy Space Center. In about 2 hours. Okay, good stuff. I wasn't planning to do that, Tom. I was kind of tired. Falcon 9 launching probably more Starlinks. Okay. Cool. There are some orange lights on the tower. That's worth noting. Maybe they're yellow. They look orange, but maybe they're just yellow lights. The lunar lander, oh, the lunar lander is a big thing. Oh, wow. Is that you know, Intuitive Machines is going to the moon? Is that the Intuitive Machine one as well? That would be interesting though if they put a tunnel from the under the pad over there to the ocean. I think the Fish and Wildlife people, the federal Fish and Wildlife, would have some issues with that. I wanted to mention something about the Fish and Wildlife thing as well. You know, a lot of people are all about conserving, you know, the wildlife in the area, but when we have so much mosquitoes out here and stuff, that's actually a harmful thing. You know, it's not a beneficial thing. So I don't know. I'd like to hear their explanation of the saving the mosquito population versus, you know, if they did pave that whole area around the launch site over there, just pave it over with concrete, or do something else, maybe drain it. If they did something to the property so that it didn't fill with all that water and have the mosquitoes grow there, then it would be much safer for everybody. Then SpaceX wouldn't have to put all that mosquito spray in the air, and it'd be just much safer. So, you know, think about all the people in town that might, I'm going to go into this, they might get infected from all the different mosquito viruses and everything else, right? How important is that versus the just having it be natural as nature intended? Yeah, another perspective on that is you got to keep the doctors busy, so it's good to keep it in its current terrible state, and maybe they don't want people coming over the Rio Grande. So the harsher the reality is here with the mosquitoes, the better. I don't know. Okay, Pipersall says the Japanese lander. Okay, interesting. For the moon? Interesting. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Yep, plenty more fish in the sea. The tower has been a real dance party that last few days. First red, green, now orange. Okay, so it is orange, huh? Is orange one of the colors on that color scheme? Okay, that's good. I'm wondering if my eyes were playing tricks on me or not. Sausage, thanks for the support. Good stuff. That's very kind. Razor says, do they treat that area much? No, yeah, they don't put any mosquito stuff over there. They end it pretty much at the SpaceX property. Will says, Rogers, this is a RTLS mission 2. The Falcon 9 booster will land back at the Cape at landing zone 2. Should be good watching. Oh, wow. So it's going to go back and land again. Yeah. Okay, let me see. When we're talking about the Japanese lander, you know, the Japanese people get sabotaged quite a bit from some of the other countries out there, from some of the natural disasters that happened to Japan. Natural, emphasis on the word natural. These natural disasters that just happen to Japan over and over. Pretty interesting how that happens, but so that would be the only possible issue I see with the mission. But let me see what else. Yeah, sausage. No, anything is great, man. I appreciate it, and that's the big thing to contribute to it, you know, to a YouTube channel or to this channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Sausage. Okay. Carl says that spray is mixed with engine exhaust also. The chemical is injected into the cylinder and burned with the gas. Then it sprayed out a special type of exhaust. Huh, cool. Right on. Yeah, I try not to breathe it in. I try to be in my truck or something when it comes by. Cool. Edward says, can you see the lighthouse in Port Isabel from there? Crazy. It looks 117 years for them to relight it. It took them 117 years. Let me see. I don't see the lighthouse. No, I don't. We can get that shot too with the. I can move the camera in that direction, but there's we can't really see much at Port Isabel. I can see. I'll move the camera just so you get the shot. We will be able to see South Padre Island, but Port Isabel is a little bit too dark from this spot with this camera. Let's see, over in this area, I believe, is Port Isabel. Maybe a little bit to the left of that red thing, Port Isabel, but the rest of it, I think the rest of that stuff is South Padre Island. Yeah, but yeah, we can't see the lighthouse. No. There we go. Let's go back to this way. Thanks. Good idea, though. I've been up into the lighthouse, and it's pretty cool. I had a fun time going up there. Edward, have you been up in the lighthouse, or do you live around here? These gentlemen are still here, so I think they're just on a break. They will get back to what they're doing. Okay, Tom mentioned some good info. Tom Ciccoli says they've been landing back at the Cape a lot lately. I guess the drone ships are on Christmas break. Maybe that's what we got going on here too, because there's very few trucks here. We'll have to see in the coming days, going between now and Christmas, if they start packing up again as usual during the week time. But even for Saturday, this is not many vehicles here at all. Edward says, de Villiers, cool. Edward de Villiers. They dimmed the light after last night. Okay, of the lighthouse. Good say. In El Paso, Texas. Good stuff. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Tom says there's a scheduled road closure for the 15th, so I don't think the humans have left for break yet. Okay. Okay. So today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That'd be a Thursday, I think. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Thursday is the road closure then, huh? Interesting. Huh. All right. I'll get a token shot of the Starship here. A little bit too dark and not really much going on from this angle at least. That's a long one until the 8 p.m., huh? Okay. Helena, wow. Very unexpected, both of y'all. Very unexpected. Thank you. guess I can get a little, I'll do a little zoom in here. It's a long way to That's a nice look right there at that aft flap. That's kind of a nice shot. Almost like it's rounded or something. Yeah. Can't see much right now. Edward says, I wonder if the food trucks are out there. Well, I really want to go to Starbase next time, so caught up in going to South Padre Island after 30 years, huh? Wow. After a 30-year hiatus. Oh, good for you. When it's busy, there are food trucks, and I think during the week, normally over by they have a little restaurant over there on the corner, but it's just for SpaceX people. They do have food trucks, yeah, but not open to the public. When you were here 30 years ago, were there public food trucks? That was before SpaceX came around here. I think around the year 2000 or 2001, SpaceX bought some of this property out here. So if you were here 30 years ago, then that would have been in the 90s or something like that. You like that one time? This planet has water, right? Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. I'm learning more about how YouTube does its, how it promotes the videos and stuff like that, and what people like. I'm learning more about different ways to put stuff out that people like. You just hung around South Padre? Cool. I know I've met some people who've been around here a long time too, and people have hung out on South Padre. I didn't know it was that popular back then, but yeah, for a while people have been going to South Padre. That's like me talking about Virginia. I could hang around in Virginia and talk with some people who are kind of new to the area, and I could say, yeah, in the 1996 I was over here and such happened. Yeah. I spent a lot of time over there in Virginia. It's a state a little west of Washington. There's Virginia, near anyway. So Will says there's another Falcon 9 launch on December 15th. That will be the booster returning to land as well. Okay, so it's on that same day as the road closure on the December 15th, Thursday. Be a booster returning to land as well, but this one will be from Vandenberg in California. Oh, so they're launching something for the military on the 15th, huh? All right. Cool. All right, let me get back to the tower. Get back to this over here. Sorry about that. All right. I don't know much about Vandenberg. I know it's a military location, right? You have to have a security clearance to get in and everything else, but military. Yeah, there's no wind. I can unplug the mic here too. That. It's probably not as good my speaking right now, but let me tighten up the tripod here. You can hear there's no wind. Oh, it sounds good now too. All right, I can turn off the mic then. Let me just do that. Save the battery. Thanks. All right, a little bit extra ambient sound there too. Is the top of that mall lit up, or is that the moon reflection? Let me see. There's what do you mean by the mall? The wall? Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's lit up. Everything over there in that area is lit. The moon is up there. I can get a shot of that, but it's not that bright to be causing too low lighting. Mosquitoes are starting to come out more in force right now. Yeah, frequency scanner is a good idea. I haven't done that. I mean, zoom out too. Get a little shot. They've got a good amount of lighting here. I got a shot of the moon here. In case you can see it, we can both see it at the same time, kind of thing. Yep. Yeah, I was howling this morning when I made those videos. Now I'm just tired. Save my voice for tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. Iran splashes down tomorrow. That's correct. I forgot about that. I think I forgot where, but maybe out in the Australia region. I forgot where. It in one of the news things they said where it's going to be landing. If you know, let us know. Piper's All says, would you like to go on the Dear Moon flight? Sure, get me on the flight. That'd be great. Yeah, I did apply, but I didn't make it. Didn't make the cut. I didn't really try either. I mean, I filled out the info, but I didn't call them or text them or anything else, and I didn't bother them. I probably could have got my thing out there. You know, before, about a week ago, a bunch of people were asking me, do you want to go on the Dear Moon, would you like to go to the moon and stuff like that? I don't know if there were people on the Dear Moon kind of asking people to ask me or what, but it's kind of weird. Like about a week ago, some people were asking me if I wanted to go. I mean, go to the moon. I didn't know where it was coming from, but it's pretty interesting. I wasn't very enthusiastic about wanting to go to the moon, so yeah, maybe. Yeah. It could be several years from now too, you know. Okay, it's gonna land off the coast of California, says Edward. Okay, that's cool. You know, that's also interesting from another perspective. The California Long Beach areas apparently were underneath that whole Long Beach, underneath the ground over there in the Santa Monica, Long Beach, all that area. There's supposed to be a lot of military spaceship type stuff underneath the ground, a lot of underground bunker type stuff as far as spacecraft and things like that. That's where the if you look up What's his name? There's a book called Selected by Extraterrestrials. And the gentleman of that book says he worked for a few different aerospace companies out there. And when he was a young kid in the Second World War time frame, there was some type of a crash or a war, a battle up there above Los Angeles area. And when some of that stuff happened is when they got more serious about doing that type of stuff. And they eventually had a lot of underground stuff that was built over there in the military sector. And they actually apparently, the gentleman who wrote that book, Selected by Extraterrestrials, he worked for an admiral, or maybe several of them, and he designed mile-long or longer spaceships that were in the design of the like aircraft carriers in the water. He designed them for space, and he said they were actually manufactured. Yeah, there's probably some many mile-long spaceships up there in space that the military has, and they were designed over there under Long Beach. So if they're going to be landing this Artemis mission over there, you got to wonder. I wonder. Apparently, a while back, the space shuttle used to. The reason why it took so long for the space shuttle to get back to Earth versus the cosmonaut, their things, when the Russians came back to Earth, it took them very little time to get back to the Earth. When the space shuttle was coming back to Earth, it always took them a long time. And the reasoning behind that was the word on the street is from the people who apparently know that they would use the space shuttle to go from orbital reef to orbital reef, from orbital manufacturing facility to orbital manufacturing facility in the military defense sector. And they would use the astronauts would go and take the different things that were manufactured on these in-orbit manufacturing facilities in the defense and military sector. They would pick them up with a spaceship, so they go from one facility to the other up there in low Earth orbit, collect the stuff, and then they would come back to the Earth. So it was always a sketchy transport back to the Earth from maybe the international, wherever they were up there in space with the space shuttle. In the public sector, they would use that same spaceship and those same astronauts to go and collect whatever they were manufacturing up there in space. And that's why it took so long. So if they're landing the Artemis mission over there off of Long Beach, I would suspect that they're going to offload some stuff off of the Artemis mission. There's no reason why they would spend all that money on a robotic mission to go around the moon unless they were going to be transporting something out there into space and transport it back also. So maybe some people were out there and they put some stuff on the Artemis ship, and when it gets back here to the Earth, they're going to offload it over there by Long Beach, and then they will display the ship and everything else in the public sector after that. So that's my thoughts. The military doesn't waste money, and that's probably what they're doing. So. Oh, the military does waste money, but they waste it on weapons and other stuff. So you can consider it wasting money. They spend the money, or they keep it for themselves, or whatever. They don't intentionally just let an opportunity pass by. So. So I'd suspect that's why they're landing it over there by Long Beach. haven't checked the chat. Maybe I missed something. I have been watching while I was talking. I didn't watch the chat. Let me go back and see if anything I missed. Okay, let me see. I did miss some things. Power says the dear moon probably won't happen until 2024. Yeah, and maybe even later, you know. It could be like 5-6 years from now, so maybe. And the angry astronaut did put forth a good statement that, you know, maybe the reason they picked such a young crew is because when the actual launch happens, it may be many years from now. So maybe they didn't want the people to be too old when the mission actually happens, you know. Edward says, make me think of the old show, I Dream of Jeannie. I don't know what you're talking about there, Edward, but that sounds good. I know the TV show, but I don't know how it fits in. I don't know what they talked about on that show. That's cool. Tom says, I wouldn't be a good astronaut. I would be freaking out during the ascent. That's fine. Yeah, Edward says, what will come first, Dear Moon or Cybertruck? Probably the truck, I would imagine. They win. Nice to see you. Nice. Good to see you. That's all that's happening here. A skeleton crew here, and they were building something over there by they were building some extra wall, but that's done, it looks like, for now at least. And the gentlemen are on break or something like that, and there's not much going on. I mean, unless you I mean, something's going on here, but not much is going on. Peace and quiet is what's going on. Anyone have any stories or any news or anything you want to share? Blinking green Christmas lights, that's right. But the lights on the tower are still orange. Let me there we go. Still got an orange blinking light. Yep, skeleton crew, that's true. I'll probably do another 5 minutes and call it a day. I was happy I got the Nikon camera out today. I cleaned it this morning and then I used it. I've got to recharge the batteries for the camera, but I got like I got at least 50 or more photos today, but I didn't have enough time to upload them all to transfer them from the camera to the my computing software where I could edit and upload. So I did upload like 19 of the 50 or so photos that I took today. But I got a lot of good ones, but kind of the important ones, I got them in there. It was nice to use the camera again, just good to know that it works, and my different software and everything still works too, so that's good stuff. Edward says El Paso is in the Mountain Time Zone, so MT 11:09 there. Oh, that's cool. It is 12:09 here. Okay, MT Mountain Time. That's the same time zone as the Colorado, Denver area or Boulder. Cool. Mountain Time. Hey, Craig. Good to see you. Oh, good afternoon to you, Helena. It is officially 1:09 or so. Good on you. Not morning for you anymore. Apologize for that. Okay, Tom says, do you think Starship is much further along in development than what we're seeing? I think the Deer Moon crew would need to start learning the layout and systems if launching in 2023. And Will says, how often do you see Boca Chica gal out there with her camera? Actually, Will, in the last week, I haven't seen Boca Chica gal at all, but that's fine because I was gone for a few months myself, so I don't know the story yet. I've seen Nick Sweeney in the last day or two, but I haven't seen Boca Chica gal for a little bit. But I haven't been spending my days here. I've just been mostly my mornings and my evenings is what I've been doing so far. But let me go back to that question about the Starship. Tom says, do we think the Starship is, so anybody can answer this, but do you think the Starship is more further along in development than what we're seeing? I think the Deer Moon crew would need to start learning the new layout and systems if launching. You know, maybe there's a whole separate team at SpaceX that's designing the inside of the Starship for all the different display, heads-up displays and everything else. I would imagine that some people are working on that. They do have the Falcon 9, and I guess all the different driving type heads-up displays are already completed. They're probably just going to use something similar inside the Starship to control everything. If they need to, it's going to be automated anyway, right? It's going to be able to fly itself on the first mission or so. But it's going to be a lot more space than the Falcon 9. The storage capacity and everything. They'll have more space. Yeah, I don't know. But that's what I would say. Do I think they're further along? Yeah, I don't know if they're going to launch in 2023. We could look at the same thing about Angry Astronaut said this as well. They were saying they were going to launch this in 2021, around August or September of last year. So we've already gone over a year since then, and we still haven't launched it. So it could take them a long time to launch it. So I don't know if this Deer Moon's going to launch. Some of the speculation about the Deer Moon was that from Angry Astronaut was that maybe they'll launch the Deer Moon crew on a Falcon, on some other Super Heavy or something else. Maybe they'll launch them up there into space, and maybe they'll launch the. I said this last night too, kind of repeating what Angry Astronaut said. This is his speculation. Maybe they'll launch a crew up on some other vehicle, and in orbit, once the Starship gets up in space, because it'll be a little bit too dangerous. It's not proven yet. Maybe they would transfer, once the Starship got into space, they would transfer them from another craft up there in space onto the Starship, and that they would also have to send more fuel up to the Starship on additional Starships. So maybe more than one Starship to fuel the Starship. And so after the fuel and the people were added to the Starship up there in orbit, at that point they could go around the moon and then come back. And then even maybe when they get back, they would also transfer them again into some other vehicle or something. Or maybe the re-entry vehicle at that point will be good enough for the people to stay inside of that. But maybe they would transfer into a Falcon re-entry vehicle and come back in that, maybe the Starship portion will just be on the trip around the moon. Yep, Harper's all. Room for a poker table, huh? That's good. Yeah, Tom. Hey, drones. What can I say? Yeah, so we're past that 5-minute point too. I'll do another minute and then close it down. Lost record time still, but yeah, we got talking about some good stuff. Is there anything else you guys ladies want to chat about? Guys and girls. Yeah. I only say that because there are mosquitoes out here. Not that bad. They're not that bad, but they are here. So. Yeah, Edward. All right. Okay. Another good night, guys, and day for you. Have a good day as well if you're starting your day. Appreciate the chat. It's fun to come out here and just chat with you. And good stuff. Another day. See ya. See you on the next one. You're always welcome to send me an email or text me. My phone number is up there in the About section here on YouTube. That's my phone number. You can text me anytime or send an email. Thanks. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good night.